where Patoman got his first regional win, seeking
his another win, honestly, in a regional championship is going to be both of these players. WITHRD and SNOR3K, both of them have made multiple top 8s, but neither have made a medal.
That's true. WITHRD, I was going to say both of these are young trainers, but WITHRD is a really young trainer. He is the prodigy, as we called him back in the day. His first appearance in the Play Pokemon series, immediately a top 8 cut, then eliminated by Uden in that tournament, but now he is back. Struggled a little bit at the beginning of the season, but never gave up. Talked a lot to him. He was very confident that he is going to come back once, and now he's here.
His Feraligatr looks fantastic into SNOR3K's team, though. Best answer is probably that Wigglytuff, and honestly, that is not much of an answer. You lose the Zero Shield scenario, so does Steelix, honestly. So I'd be shocked to not see a Feraligatr swap here. You can kind of play around that in the Annihilate. Let's see if he does so. It's going to be a Cradle into the Shadow Altaria.
That's a decent lead for WITHRD here. The Shadow Altaria plays a little bit different than the regular Altaria. The big question is, can you get farmed down at some point by Rock Tomb, or is the matchup just better for Shadow Altaria? Because you still need 2 Rock Tombs, but you deal a lot more damage.
It depends on the health of the Altaria, because if we're going for a little bit more, oh my goodness, we go for the Rock Tomb catch onto that Steelix. However, does this set up the Talonflame and free up the Feraligatr in the back?
I mean, Talonflame maybe, but this is still super effective. Fast attack damage. There is going to be the Shadow Steelix being brought in.
That is a huge call from WITHRD here, just saying, all right, I know it is that Shadow Scissor in the back, and my Talonflame is going to be ready. Takes that Hydro Cannon like a champ, throws off this Psychic Fangs, and honestly now, this Talonflame is looking fantastic in the back.
Yep. A no shield is really interesting on the side of SNOR3K, because this Feraligatr gets 2 free Shadow Claws in, lives in the big yellow here, has energy advantage, and now is even going to get to an Ice Beam versus the Shadow Altaria. Getting close though.
Oh my goodness! The Scissor catches the Ice Beam! What a call! He knows that there's no reason to bait there. Ice Beam lands onto the Scissor. However, I wonder if we should undercharge that and try to get 2 Incinerates off.
1 Incinerate. Get it off the field here. But if you're risking to get Night Slash by this Scissor, this might deal some damage, some big damage there. Now Shadow Altaria coming in again, throwing a Sky Attack here. No shield by WITHRD. He has 3 Pokemon, doesn't want to use any shields, gets farmed down here.
And the Altaria is just going to clean up the game here. Cradily, no energy on the side of it. And honestly, these catches this game from SNOR3K were absolutely critical. Didn't have the best lead, didn't have the best backline, and was able to power through everything with the Shadow Altaria. You can see the look of WITHRD's face. He knows that he had the right alignment this game and just needs to play it a little bit better. I'm really curious as to how he makes those adjustments here. Do we need to just be waiting turns before throwing those charge attacks?
Oh, maybe those are like really impressive mechanics, very important ones as well in those games. But SNOR3K farms down with the Shadow Altaria, and when we're remembering back to our player predictions, Swaggeron was onto something, huh?
Shadow Altaria has been such an interesting choice because we saw, I think, Out of Pocket run it for the first time in the Las Vegas Regionals, and he made it to the top 4, and he said it was the most powerful Pokemon on this team. It makes matchups into Stunfisk. You know, in Stunfisk, opposing Altaria and Shadow Steelix just all way better. I think against Steelix is critical because the Flamethrower just basically knocks it out, as opposed to Steelix could before no shield and put a little bit more pressure. Altaria is just such a cool pick as a Shadow. A little bit difficult to get for sure, but Scissor is here to try to punish it.
Yeah, there's also a Wigglytuff on the side there. So if you're playing a Shadow Altaria team, Eric, what is a Pokemon that you would really want to pair it with to break up those Fairies and Steel types?
Annihilate is such a great choice with it. It doesn't break Fairy, of course, but it is solid against some, basically everything that's not Wigglytuff, right? Because Florges is not too bad for the Annihilate, of course, if you're swapping it first. And it'll just punish things like Scissor, Steelix, and even Cradily to free up your Altaria. And I think he's obviously recognized this and put both of them on the team. Talonflame to kind of shore up that Wigglytuff matchup. Yeah. Cradily as well. Feraligatr is that soft loss. So many things I like about this team.
Look at this. This is also big villain energy from SNOR3K with 4 shadows on the team, just accompanied by Wigglytuff and Gastrodon. Those don't have shadows, and I think this is the only reason why he's not running those.
Wigglytuff and Gaster is another one of those cores that's like, it's pretty much just good into everything, but it's going to be a little bit difficult to get the correct alignment, just depending on the situations. You don't necessarily want to bring your Wigglytuff into a Talonflame team, but if you can snag it onto that Altaria, you'll be laughing all the way home.
And Gastrodon is a Pokemon that was, for the most part of this meta of Tales of Transformation, it was super safe for the first time ever since it started running Water Pulse. It looked like it could be a safe swap. Now that Altaria has come back, that is a huge loss for Gastrodon and Altaria. This is the reason why it has been so strong in the last couple of tournaments. On both teams, a Shadow one as well. Shadow Altaria in the lead. Scissor, the answer.
However, we've got a couple answers in the back. I'd love to see Withered just, pivot right into the Annihilate. Like, just make that bold call. We're not going to see the Wigglytuff, and that's exactly the case. Never punish. Annihilate swapped into the Scissor, and we already saw the Scissor is now less than 50% of its HP left just from 5 counters.
Yeah, that's Incinerate range, and now the Annihilate is going to demand a shield back because it can threaten with the Ice Punch. So
I love
might
this.
be able to call this. Does so. No attack boost for Withered. A little bit more energy spent, but you get the shield back safely at least.
I like that the recognition is we can just try to make it to 2 Ice Punches. No, we can't make it to 2 Ice Punches. We needed that bait. The Snorlax know his counts. He knows no shields this Rage Fist. But this actually puts it into a comfortable Dragon Breath down range for the Altaria.
Well, that did a lot of damage unboosted. That was crazy. Shadow on shadow damage here. Immediate no shield on this Sky attack. Withered is preparing to sweep this game with a Talonflame in the back. 2 Steel types waiting for it as well.
You can't get there, but do you just let this go? No, I don't think you can. The Talonflame will take way too much damage. You have to shield this. Get the shield back from the... Oh,
he disagrees.
The Talonflame Gambit. He brings in the Shadow Steelix, and I think it's just too little too late. Psychic Fang's going to permanently debuff this Talonflame. Oh, he goes for that Flame Charge, but it's going to be on bad timing. Lets the Thunder Fang through, and I think that might be that might seal the deal for the Talonflame here.
Look at those Steelix Chompers going in there. Top left on the side of Withered, and Snorlax advances to the day. 2 incredible plays here on his side. Has a double Steel type backline versus a Shadow Talonflame, but has managed to come up with enough pressure in this game